All right. Cool. Welcome to the Cult of Personality Podcast, Season 3, Episode 6, I'm pretty sure. I'm your host, per usual, Mikeymcchoppa, coming with you from my brand new apartment. God bless. That's why things look very different right now. I could kind of took like a mid-season break, I feel like, just to like really get this shit going. It was a lot of moving and working and all this shit. Well, we're back. It's been like a month since I last seen everybody watching and shit like that. And I'm very excited to have our special guest today because I've been anticipating this interview since I've interviewed, I think, Base Witch. I think that was the first member of everything, the Witch Klique, right?
Yep.
Right, that I interviewed. Ever since then, I found out about the rest of you guys and your wave and what you guys do and stuff like that. And I'm like, hey, man, this would be really cool to, eventually get everybody on the line or eventually down the line, the whole collective in one sitting. But,
That'd be
right
really
now,
cool.
right now, we're speaking with Valley Grimm. How's it going?
Hello. Good, good.
Valley Grimm, my man. No, yeah, I know I've been dying to talk to you after I talked to Base Switch and Arius. They both said amazing things about you. And I listened to your stuff and you and I have gone back and forth in the DM a couple times.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And you just seem like an overall cool person. I think this is way overdue. So I'm sorry that it took this long to this moment.
You're good, you're good. Everything happens when the time's right.
Right? Yeah, man. So how you been? What you been up to?
I've just been working on a lot of music, honestly. A lot of music. I just finished a 20-song project that I dropped a little while ago, and
Hmm.
now I'm working on a couple EPs with other artists and another EP, solo EP.
That's awesome. A 20 song project sounds pretty impressive. How long did that take to make? How do you pull that off?
My process is a little slow most of the time. So like my first real tape that I started was a collab project with another member of Witch Klique, Witch Boy.
Okay.
And that was right when I first started making music, like taking it seriously and shit.
Hmm.
So that took me like a solid 9 months to make like 8 songs completed. And then somewhere in the middle of that project, I started another project that I dropped before that one.
Right.
And then the 20-song tape took me anywhere from 6 to 8 months, something like that. So it was a long journey.
So in total, that was like over a year, no?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was like all those projects together was like a good year of work, year and a half of work.
When all was said and done and you put it out there, songs from a bunch of different or not a bunch of different time periods, but over the vast span of time, were you like proud of this like piece of work, or did you feel like maybe it could have been better because some of the songs were so early on?
It's it's hard to say because I really wanted to hone in on like the same vibe for the whole tape, but
Right.
it was such a wide period of time that I
Right.
feel like my brain was all over the place creating the project. So it's like there's a whole lot of different energies into one.
Mm.
But as a final product, I feel like it turned out really well.
That's really cool, man. I always admire that. I mean, I made one EP in my lifetime. Um, and it only has 7 songs, and I found that to be like the most accomplishing thing I can do music wise. So 20 songs, and I saw Arius dropped the album like maybe a month or two ago, and he had a lot of songs on it too. So it seems like you guys are really just into this like really well thought out like pieces of work, like very extensive pieces of work, which I think is
Yeah.
really cool.
I see a lot of artists in the underground just like single after single after single after single. And I feel like if I were to do that, my plays would definitely be up. Like every time I drop a single, get more plays than a project, but it doesn't feel like complete to my soul when I just like
Right.
drop singles and shit. So like me, Witch Boy, and Arius all like in the same time frame made 20 plus song projects. So Witch Boy made a 22-song project, I made a 20-song project, and Arius made a 25-song project, and we all dropped them within the same like 3 months.
Yeah, man, you guys are on fire. I peeped that. So
Yeah,
it's cool that you guys take this different approach to the algorithm and music and just uploading because I feel like a lot of people are prone to only dropping singles because they want that like quick fix of plays. But
yeah,
I do feel like that there's a bit of a reward within uploading more vast, like extensive pieces of work because if you build a fan base based off of something like that, like you're putting out albums and people you grow a fan base off of that, I feel like it'd be a lot more like of a loyal or niche fan base. Like I feel like I don't know, I feel like it'd be like I wouldn't say a better fan base because I don't know if that's even like a thing, but I feel like it'd just be
Yeah.
really cool to see what you get out of that compared to just only getting people from singles and people find you from one song and they only know you one song rather than like a whole piece of work, you know?
Yeah, it feels like we've gotten to the point where it's like we have a very small fan base, but it's like a really loyal fan base. Like they come back every single drop. They're ride or die for us. Like
Right.
they're always on top of it because they're just like, yeah. I feel like when I do drop a single, it gets more plays, but those people don't come back.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's perfect word to say for it, like loyal. Like more loyal fan base, you know?
Yeah,
So yeah, exactly like that. They're in tune, they're and invested in what you do, you know?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So that's cool. That's some cool talk. I just wanted to catch up a little on what you're doing in the present right now before we start off with like the first question and gets like into the fucking meat and cheese of the whole thing and
Yeah,
shit like that, you know?
yeah.
Which I mean the first question goes a little like Valley Grimm, the name, the image, the aura, and the energy. How did it start? How did you get here? And everything in between, kind of like your whole origin story. Give it to us.
Alrighty. So when I first started, I've went through three names.
Okay.
The first one I'm not gonna mention because it was just like me and my friend Cannabis Sam. We're in high school together. We'd listen to like the most obscure rappers on SoundCloud, just like random dudes, 12 plays on SoundCloud. Like that was our shit all the time, just listening to like the randomest music. And we
Right.
were just like, we could just totally do this. So we just started making like joke songs on our phones, just making joke songs, dropped them. And I was just like, because I wanted to be a producer when I was in like middle school and shit. Like I always had an idea of being a producer. Like it sounded sick to me.
Okay.
So we just started recording vocals, throwing ideas out there and shit. And I was always just like, it never has any potential in my mind. I was just like, whatever. It's like just like some stupid shit.
Just yeah.
And then I heard the first couple songs we made, which were not very good, but I heard them and I was like, this could go somewhere. Like it doesn't
It
sound
has
that
potential.
it doesn't sound that bad for my first song. Like it could go somewhere.
Right.
So then we just kind of kept doing our thing, and I kind of got linked in with like some people in the underground scene. Like if you listen to Young Bright and know who Cool Nast is, like we became friends on Instagram with Cool Nast. We joined her Discord server, and then eventually I made the switch over to my first name, which was Young Grimm, which was just like whatever. It was just a quick name I came up with. It was like a cringy name.
I mean, where did the Grim part come from? Is that like the Grim Reaper or
I don't even know, honestly. I kind of just wanted to fit that aesthetic. I don't even know.
it's so funny because I asked a question and I completely just ignored the fact that it could have just been the slim chance that your name is actually Grim, you know?
That'd be sick. But
But like, let me ask.
yeah. And then I was in this Discord server, and there was this dude all the time. He was like, somebody's got to make Valley their like rap name. Someone's got to put Valley in front of their rap name. And he just kept saying that idea. And one day I was just like, Valley Grimm, and that's how I ended up on this name. Stuck with it since.
That's awesome, man. So what the fuck was the value or like the what was the meaning or like the joke behind Valley just putting that in front of your rap name?
I don't even know. He was
Like
just
what was
like,
his shtick with that?
I don't even remember. I think he just thought it sounded cool. Like he was just like, that sounds really cool. And I was just like, I just went for it. I just
There you
started
go.
riding with it.
That's awesome. That's cool.
And I feel
That's
like that name ended up fitting in with the whole aesthetic that I was going for at the time. Because me and Witch Boy made a project. It was titled Witch Valley.
oh
So
shit.
like it worked out perfectly.
Yeah, it definitely comes off with like the whole whimsical, like psychedelic vibe
Yeah,
that you guys give off.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
The
man.
energy and aura, it's changing. It's ever changing, honestly. Because when I started off, I was going for like deeper rap vocals, or like I wanted like that like crunchy, like low quality sound kind of like just like a wet basement is how I always described like my first project. Like I was just like I wanted like that like gnarly rap vocals is what
Like
I was going for.
gritty.
And then yeah, gritty. And then over time on like my recent project, I was going for more of like a angelic kind of vibe. So it's always changing, lyrically always changing too.
That's good. I mean, I feel like your energy's supposed to always be changing, like ever flowing,
Yeah,
as
yeah.
long as you're alive. So that's a really good fitting answer for that question. And that's awesome that you can even like encapture what you guys do with a word and like really try to like articulate it. Because to a degree, I feel like there's a depth that you wouldn't feel inclined to feel like you can put a word on it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's really cool. So when you started and stuff like that, and the group songs and stuff like that, or not the group songs, the joke songs and stuff. Shit, what was I going with this? I'm a burnout right now because I just woke up.
You're good.
But no, yeah. So you thought no potential, whatever. So what did you ever build much of a fan base or much of a following with either your old aliases or with any joke songs or anything that was just kind of like subpar to you in that time?
Yeah, honestly, like I don't know how many plays it's at now because my first tape, like the joke tape, is still out there. It's on like an account we lost the password for. We can't delete it even if we wanted to. Like it's just in the world forever.
Wow. What
So
name is it under again?
we're not mentioning that.
All right, all
I
right, all
want
right.
to. If people find that, they can have it. It's rare,
Okay, that's fair.
but it did like get more plays than we thought we would ever get at the time. Like we dropped it, it started getting like 300, 400 plays at the time. So we were just like, what the fuck's going on? Like this is weird. And then
Right.
I made my new like my solo SoundCloud account, and I just was dropping like weird songs that I just like made in my bedroom like 3 o'clock in the morning. I didn't know how to flow at all. I didn't know. I was just kind of just speaking my mind over a beat,
Right.
and those started getting more and more plays. Like it was just, I don't know. It kind of just, they started blowing up randomly, not blowing up, but like getting 400 plays. I was like, okay.
Can't be mad at that when you expect it to get like 20.
Yeah, I wasn't even caring about plays or numbers or anything. I just wanted to make music to make music. Like that's
Right.
what the goal was at the beginning.
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So with music and fucking around with music, even like, in the beginning, like just jokingly and stuff like that. Is there any like artists that inspired you musically and that you were like, yeah, man, I want to do music because like you heard some shit and you were just like, yo, I want to do music because this
Yeah.
shit is fire.
In the beginning, in the very beginning, we were listening to, like, I listened to a lot of underground music, like just random underground music. And I
Hmm.
was listening to a lot of Young Bruh and like Reptilian Club Boys and like BB Sun. That was like my main shtick at the time. That's just what I was listening to. So that definitely inspired my music back then a
Right.
lot. But then over the years, I've just like got taking inspiration from so many different places. Just like a lot of different artists, even mainstream artists now, honestly. Like I listen to a lot of Young Thug now. Just like, I don't know, it's inspiring my flows. I feel like he's just
Well,
really creative with the flows and everything.
Thug is
So,
fire.
yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, what was I gonna say? Being so in tap with the underground and stuff like that, like since young for you or since you started, was really cool because that's a real cool creative advantage that some people kind of ease into, I feel like, rather than are just fully a part of when they start making music.
Yeah.
At least when I started, like I was like one of those like really cliche, like just peep fans type shit.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to make like peep type music. And then
Hmm.
I eventually eased into finding more shit and then actually developing like my own identity within the underground. Like obviously I have my own identity, but like really like putting it on display
Yeah.
when it comes to like creative work and stuff like that. So that's really cool. Moving henceforth though, I want to talk about because I kind of like whenever I like interview people that are part of collectives and stuff like that, I always kind of like try to break it down and get each person's side of how they saw the
Yeah.
collective to come to be. And I'm pretty sure I asked Arius, I'm pretty sure I asked Base Witch. So I gotta ask Valley Grimm, how
They
the
probably
hell
laid it on me, didn't they?
They were like, yeah, I think they might have, because I haven't watched those interviews back in a while, but they might have said something along the lines of like, oh, I don't know that. You might have to ask Valley Grimm, da da da, something like that, you know? So
Yeah,
here we
yeah.
are. We got the man in person. What was I gonna say? But like pretty much tell me like how Witch Klique came to be. How did you become a part of it? What was the whole blueprint for it? Where do you guys see it going? And all these different things, you know, just pretty much just revolving Witch Klique.
All right, so we were making joke music. Me and my friend Cannabis Sam. He kind of fell out of the music scene a little bit, but we're still close, you know.
Yeah,
But we were making music together. Realized we had potential. We started dropping like more actual songs, like songs we were trying harder on and shit.
right.
And then we were just doing what we normally do, exploring SoundCloud, finding random artists. We found
Mm-hmm.
Witch Boy, just artist from Belgium. Like he was making at the time he was making different music than he makes now, but we found him and we were like, this kid is sick. We're gonna DM him. We just shot him a DM. We were like, yo, you want to work on some shit?
Right.
And we made like a couple songs with him. We were just like, we're gonna just put a name behind this. We just came up with the Witch Klique. We put a name behind it. And then from there we just like all the artists were like it's kind of just like we found them, but it's like we weren't really like hunting. We weren't like, oh, we're going to look for artists for this collective. It was kind of just a name for the songs we're releasing. It's like a
Right.
little to put a name to everything, you know.
Right.
And then I think after we landed on Witch Boy, we were making music with him. That's when we started our project, our collab tape. We ended up finding Bass Twitch same way, just on SoundCloud recommended or whatever. We found Bass Twitch and we were like, same thing. We sent him a DM, we shot him a DM. He was Tavian 1K at the time.
Oh my
Started
God.
making started making music with him. And then from there we were like, we need beats, we need producers. So we were using Young Bruh beats at the time off of YouTube. And there was this
Right.
one that we found by a producer named Vil. We hit Vil up in the collective then, and he had an artist that he worked with on some music called Purple Demon in the collective. And then one day we were scavenging through SoundCloud, we found Witch Boy Arius, and we were just like throwing ideas out there. We were just like, oh, we're gonna start like a fake beef with this dude because we have Witch Boy. This is Witch
Right.
Boy Arius. We're gonna start a fake beef. We just started DMing him and talking to him as like on some friendly shit.
Right.
And I hit him up one day. We made like a just like a two-song project. One's just a slowed down version, and one's a regular version of the song. And we just made that, and from there we were just like linked in. Everybody was just linked in from there.
That's
And I don't know,
awesome. It
we
kind of
never,
happened so organically, you know?
yeah, it came to be. We never like had a blueprint or like a vibe we were going for. I think we were all just in tune. Like we all just were on the same kind of like wavelength already, like listening to the same music on SoundCloud. Like we all carried the same type of vibe, persona, and everything. So it
Right.
kind of just created itself, honestly.
That's awesome. That's really cool. I think that's so dope that something something I feel like most people would assume was put together, was like was a blueprint, was a vision towards, you know, prior to execution, but it just happened organically and cool for you guys.
Yep.
And
I
it's
don't
cool.
know.
It's so funny too because it's like you guys have this collective and you guys all have like this similar vibe when it comes to your sounds and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So the fact that it just kind of happened organically and you guys just like coincidentally bumped into each other, it really just goes to show like how weird the world and the universe works and like when it comes to like bringing you to people who are on your realm type shit, you
Yeah,
know?
it's even weirder because we're none of us live near each other, like at all. Like
Right.
the only person that lived near me was Cannabis Sam, and then like everybody else is from Europe, all over the world, America, like everywhere. So it's just
Right.
like
I mean, isn't
weird
it's
circumstance.
how is it? Which boy you said's from Belgium?
Belgium, Purple Demon is from Amsterdam. Arius is from Texas. Bass Twitch has lived in a lot of different places. He's in Virginia right now. And
Right.
then our other artist Thrax Baby is also in Virginia, but they're farther apart. And then our producer Vil lives in Ohio.
Ohio. Damn, there's a lot of shit going on in Ohio right now. Is he good?
Honestly, I haven't heard anything about that.
Have you heard of? Oh, you haven't?
That no, I've heard about the situation, but I haven't heard anything directly from him about that situation. But
Bro, I'm hearing like that they turned Ohio into like the next Chernobyl type shit.
yeah, yeah, the like the train. carrying like
Yeah,
toxic chemicals and shit. Yeah, it's crazy. I
that
saw a
shit's
video. Saw a video of a lady boiling water, and there was just like this yellow film over the top of it. I was like, oh my good lord.
that's fucking terrible. No, yeah, man. Shout out Ohio. Peace for Ohio. Um, what was I gonna say, bro? And yeah, you're from New York, right?
Yeah, upstate.
Upstate. So you're from deep
Rock.
upstate,
Yeah,
Rochester.
Rochester. Yeah.
How is that like growing? Like, how long have you been there? One, like, were you born and raised there? And how's that like? For you now, for you then, for you whenever.
Yeah, I was born and raised here. I think it's a weird place to live. Like upstate New York just like breeds a whole bunch of weirdos. But
Yeah,
like not necessarily in a bad way, just a lot of interesting people are all around here. And
yeah.
it's like I think it's a good place to be creatively because I'm just surrounded by all this like peculiar energy all the time. And it's just like, I don't know, I feel like a lot of cool art comes out of here.
That's awesome.
There's not many artists that like actually make it out of here, but like there's a lot of people trying to do something creative here. The only artist that I know that's like actually came up out of here is RX Poppy.
Yo, shout out Pop. Um, fucking that's so funny. Doesn't he's from like Rochester exactly, right?
Yeah, his like he has a me and Arius were talking about this the other day because I never was into like I never listened to his music, like really listened to it. I knew who he was and everything. But
Right.
Arius was talking about him. He was like, I think he's from where you live. And I was like, oh. And I listened to his album and he had a song about a street that's like 10 minutes away from
Yeah,
my
yeah,
house.
yeah,
I'm like,
fucking
that's crazy.
12 Stout Street. I remember I looked
Yeah.
that shit up and I saw it was in Rochester because I knew he was from New York because he just reps New York and you could tell his swag is New York. I'm like, I like so I looked up like that address to see like what he was talking about and I was like, Rochester. I'm like, there's like a hood in Rochester. I know there's a hood everywhere, but like it caught me
Yeah.
so off guard.
Yeah.
I was like, that's crazy because he's talking about some real crazy shit on there. I'm like, damn, you think of upstate and you think of like suburbs and shit.
Yeah, Rochester used to be when I was growing up as a kid, it used to be like a pretty peaceful place. Like there's not much crime and everything around here. It was just like everybody it was pretty tame. Nowadays it's like it's a little
It's
out there.
they're
It's a
turned
little
up now over there.
yeah, it's a little out there.
Damn, that's crazy. I don't know if you ever been, but when I was living upstate, I was living in Monroe, which is like way more down. It's like an hour away
Yeah,
from the
yeah,
city.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
even then, that was like worlds away from me when I moved up there, and like lived over there.
Yeah.
Worlds away. I was like people are just it's such a different vibe. But it was, there was not a lot of artists upstate, but you're exactly right when it comes to there's a lot of cool people that are trying to make something out there.
Yeah.
I met like two of my coolest peoples upstate, so and they make music. Fucking shout out Fiji, shout out Semi Siren.
A lot of people like don't really comprehend how many places in New York there are. Everybody's just like, oh, the city, oh, the
Yeah,
city.
people don't even know that New York State is like for real. Like
Yeah.
people just see the Empire State Building and think that's all New York, bro.
hmm
Like
Yeah, like
it's
even the members in the Witch Clique, they're like, "Oh, you live in a concrete jungle." I'm like, I don't live in New York City.
no, you live in the fucking sticks.
I got like Rochester is like a pretty big city, but you drive 15 minutes, you're in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's how it really be. I know it's like Rochester, Albany, stuff like that. You
hmm
know, like big cities, but away from the city. You know.
Yeah, yeah, I like it though. I like it though. I don't know if
Yeah,
I can handle New York City. Seems a little stressful.
man, it's chill. I feel like people definitely give like way too much bullshit to New York City. Like I feel like people over exaggerate a lot of bullshit that they think
Yeah,
would happen every day in New York City. Like I take the train, I go to work, I come home, I'm fine, nothing happened. I
yeah,
didn't get stabbed, no rats bit my toes or nothing like
yeah. I'm
that.
not scared of that. I'm just like I don't know. Too many people. I
Yeah,
feel
yeah,
like
yeah.
I
That
like
that for
being
sure.
I like quiet, being alone.
Right. I mean, I was talking about the other day, because I was talking to my mom and shit. Like I'd be texting my mom, catching up and shit
Yeah,
like that. And I'm like, if there's one thing I do miss, it's definitely like the wet grass in the morning and the animals and the trees and shit like that. Like I really just like the whole nature and
yeah.
ambiance of upstate.
Uh-huh.
It's
Yeah,
just
I love it.
I don't know if you run into the issue up there, but for me, my biggest issue with upstate was if you can't drive, you can't do anything.
No, yeah, you can't do anything. You can't do
So
anything.
I couldn't make any money because I really couldn't go to work unless I was spending an arm and a leg on a cab.
Yeah.
And that's taking out of my profits. And then if you can't make, if you're not making money, you can't get a car. If you don't have a car, you can't make money. I was like, fuck this, I'm getting out of here. You know?
Yeah, that is how it is here. Because there's like where I live, it's like pretty populated densely, but it's like if you're gonna get a job, it's probably gonna be at least 10, 15 minutes away from your house. So
Yeah,
you're gonna
exactly.
need a car. Like if you're hanging out with your homies, they're gonna probably not be in your neighborhood, and where there's not like much to do out here. It's like we got trees and like a bowling
Walmart.
alley. Yeah, Walmart. So there's not
Yeah,
much to
yeah,
do. If you're gonna do anything, you're gonna go drive around in a car. So
yeah. Right.
yeah.
No, oh, what the fuck is that? A cable? Oh shit, it's windy outside. No, yeah. So yeah, that shit's funny, man, and it's funny to talk about it and to relate to someone because I think honestly, I don't even think I think it's like the first person I've had on the interview that's also from like upstate New York type shit, or
That's
from New
awesome.
York and period, except for no, I've had New Yorkers, but they're all New York City New Yorkers.
Yeah, they don't even people in New York City don't really comprehend upstate New York, I feel
They
like.
don't. I mean, the people in New York City don't know a lot of things outside of New York City.
Yeah, well, because when
Like,
you're there, you don't need much else. There's everything, I feel like.
right, like if you like there's some times where I'm just casually talking and I'll mention some shit from, just my time living. Like I'm like, "Oh yeah, I went to the Palisades Mall, Westchester County." One county above the Bronx, one county above New York City. And people are like, "What the fuck is the Palisades?"
Yeah,
People are
yeah.
like, "What's the Palisades Mall?" Or like, I lived by the Woodbury Outlets when I was living
No,
upstate.
yeah, I've been there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And people are like, "What the fuck is a Woodbury Commons?" Like, what are you talking about? So
It's
it's
funny.
like it is funny. So it's just like a whole different world to be a part of.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So but moving henceforth away from New York, and we'll come back now to Valley Grimm as an artist. Um, Tell me, man. So, how many projects do you have out now?
Let me think. So I have a collab. Most of my music that's out right now is like in collaboration. Like it's
Right.
like me and someone else on the project. So I have my first tape I dropped was called 444 with Arius.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that I dropped Witch Valley with Witch Boy. And then like I've been focusing on producing more because I want like full creative ability over my music. I want to be able to make the beats, make the songs, everything.
Right.
Because I run into the problem where I'm trying to record and I can't
Mm-hmm.
because I don't have the right beat.
Right.
So I've focused on producing a lot. I dropped like just like a little beat tape, a little beat EP because I finished it. I was like, I want to put these somewhere. Dropped that, and then I dropped my 20-song project.
So, what was I gonna say? Damn, I had a good question in mind, and it just completely blanked out of me right now. Trust, it's gonna come back. Trust, is gonna come back. Right? Ready? 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 Um. No, yeah. So when it comes to these collab projects and projects in general, oh no, fuck, I was gonna ask something completely unrelated. Damn. Yo, I gotta stop smoking. I'm a burnout. You feel me? Like I'm a
It's
burnout
like
now.
that. It's like that.
But shit, bro, what was I gonna ask? Projects. You said most projects are two projects, collaborations that are. I mentioned it for a reason. That's why I'm like, damn, what did I? Why? But when it comes to projects, I'll ask a different question. When it comes to projects, how do you decide when you're gonna like make a project? Like, is it like, oh, I'm gonna make a project, like this is what I'm working on now, or is it kind of like, hey, I have a couple songs here, let me gather them up and put like an EP out with this?
It's weird because like I'll have like a vision of something I want to make. It won't be clear. It's like a foggy vision. I don't have a name. I don't have any. I just have like a vibe that I want to shoot for, or just like something I want to complete.
Right,
I just set out on that journey, and then somewhere in the process, it just creates itself. Like I'll start a project, no intention, no name, no album cover, not like nothing, and just eventually it all just comes together into one.
right,
So I never like I feel like my first couple projects, we made a couple songs and we were just like, fuck it, let's just make this like a project. Might as well at this point.
mm-hmm.
But like for my project I'm working on now and my other more solo project, it was just like I saw a vision, started shooting towards it, and it all just clumped together into one big thing.
That's awesome. So it kind of seems like it's a mix of both, or like now with more solo projects, it's more thought out and blueprinted type shit,
Yeah,
which is awesome.
yeah.
I have to ask, as a member of the Witch Klique, as someone who comes off with this very whimsical psychedelic sound and vibe, are you like much of a psychedelic user or ever have been?
So, not currently,
Okay.
because, you know, but there was a point in my life, rough point in my life, where it was just like a lot of acid, just acid, like a whole summer probably, just like taking too many tabs a week. Like, and then after that, I just like entered like this weird depression and shit. That just like, I don't know, I feel like the acid, it just, it fries your fucking brain. It fries
Yeah,
your brain,
yeah,
especially if you're young and doing far too much. So I feel like that vibe, like now I'm glad I had that experience when I did,
yeah. Right.
even though I don't think people should shoot for that experience. I don't think that's a good thing to strive for.
Right.
But like I'm glad I had that experience because I feel like it changed my mind for the better in the long run. So I feel like that's why my music just carries that vibe. It's just like permanently embedded in me at this point.
Right. I mean, that's awesome. I mean, in a sense that it came out into something positive. But I mean, what stopped you, or I was gonna ask, like, what urged you to stop was like the depression that it put you in, yeah?
Well, it reached a point where you're just like every time I was tripping, I like there's like this anxiety of something I have to do. It's like I never know what I have to do, but there's something you got to do.
Right.
And then eventually it reached this point where I'm just like, why am I even doing this? Like it reached the point where it's like you're not even tripping that hard. You're just like it's just like it reached a point where it just became pointless and just left my life. Then I
Right.
entered that depression like after that. But like it just hit a point where it's just like this feels so pointless. It's just like there's no reason in doing this anymore. It's like I got what I needed from it
Right. I
already.
was gonna say, like, do you feel like it served its purpose and it put you on your way, like your like little road to go
Yeah,
on?
for sure. Cause
Once it
like
set you on that path, it's like, all right, it's not needed anymore.
I'm not like opposed to doing psychedelics again at all,
Right.
but it's gonna happen when like it needs to happen again. You know what I mean? Like when the time is right and like I feel like the actual urge to do that, that's when it's gonna happen. But in the this point in my life, it's like I don't need that right now.
I mean, and this is me speaking from the outside in because I've never done a psychedelic in my life. All I do is smoke weed.
Yeah,
But, I feel like that's like a very healthy or a very good way of approaching psychedelics, rather than
yeah,
like forcing it because you want to feel something or however people approach whatever substance they use. But when it comes to psychedelics, I feel like it's very something you have to be in tune with mentally and spiritually.
yeah, for sure. A lot of people just like take psychedelics or like, oh, like they don't really understand it fully. They take it, they're like, oh, I'm gonna get fucked up and have a good time. And when
Right.
you do it with that intention, that's not gonna be the outcome. You're gonna get thrown into a realm and you're gonna be like, holy fucking shit, what am I fucking with? Like, and it's just like it's doing that to you because it's telling you like, hey, this isn't meant for you right now. Like this isn't the time you're supposed to do this. You're not supposed to do this with this intention.
Right. Of just getting fucked up.
Yeah, it's not like because that's how I started. I was just like, oh, I'm just gonna take a couple tabs, see what happens, have a good time. And then it
Right.
was like my first trip was just hell. Like it
Yeah.
was just not at all a good time, not fun at all. It was just like, and then after that, I was just like, I reached a point where I was just like, at this point, I'm gonna just keep doing it until whatever
Until you,
happens.
yeah, till you like grow into it or however you approach it.
Yep.
But no, yeah, I definitely want to talk about that because it's definitely something fun outside of music to discuss and shit like that. Not on like no
Yeah.
like fucking Fed shit or nothing. Fucking Vlad
You're good.
TV,
You're good.
it's
You're
like, hey bro, when's the last time you sold a controlled substance? Let's be real.
good. Oh
Vlad,
my
shut the fuck
god.
up.
Oh my
Oh yeah.
god.
So so when it comes to projects, when it comes to working on stuff, but yet not in the present tense, what do you have going on in the future in the sense of not even only albums, but what I like to discuss too is things outside of music but related to music. So Witch Klique merch, Valley Grimm music videos, Witch Klique music videos,
Yeah.
whatever, projects, tapes, EPs, whatever you got going on.
I've been focusing a lot on like other art forms because I feel like when you do other art forms,
Mm-hmm.
it's like it's all connected. Like you make a painting, then you make a
Right.
song. It's all connected. Like the painting will match the song and the painting will influence your song. It's all one at the end of
Right.
the day. Like it's very like I don't know how to make music at all. I just do it. And I don't know how to paint at all. I just do it. And like
Right.
at that point, it's like they're two completely different things. Like making a painting, very different than making a song.
Mm-hmm.
But then once you're just like in that creative outlet, it connects in a way that like it just I don't know, it just enhances both art forms at the same time. So I've been working on a lot of different art forms, and like I wanna get to the point where we can make like merch and stuff because we're all artists, we all make cool shit. So
Right.
like we would have cool merch, we have cool ideas, we would have cool merch. I just don't think we're at the point yet where it'd be worth making merch, you know? Like I don't know if we'd have people that would buy it. I
Buy
don't
it.
know.
Right.
We have people that are interested in that.
It might be
So
more of a loss than a profit right now, like on
I'm not even
the money scale of things.
I'm not even really worried about the money. Like if we did do like a limited drop, we've talked about this before, just like a limited drop of t-shirts, get a bunch like 10, 15 t-shirts made, you know, sell them for $5 more than we bought them for. I don't really care about the money. I just want people to have something to represent us, you know, because that's
Right.
literally someone wearing your t-shirt, like free advertisement. In the long run, it would be like a net gain because someone's wearing a cool ass shirt. They're like, oh, what's that shirt? Oh, that's a Witch Klique shirt. Like that's just gonna put more and more people onto our music.
Right.
So it's honestly probably short soon time we're gonna make some merch. If anything, I think we'll do like handmade 101 merch, if anything,
Yeah,
which would be sick.
which is really cool and something to anticipate,
For sure. Music video wise, I got some things in the works for sure. I feel like the visual aspect adds so much to music. Like
Me
when you hear a song, it's like, okay, that's cool. You see a music video it like helps you fully understand the vision.
right. I've said that recently on the episode too. That's so funny that you say that, like, because I fully agree with that.
Yeah.
Um, what was I gonna say? I mean, have you ever worked on a music video before? Is there a Valley Grimm music video out there?
There's one with me and Bass Switch from a while ago, just shot in my bedroom on an iPhone, just like some shitty music video. But I would want to do like a more encompassing music video. I know other members of the Witch Clique are working, pumping out music videos. Like Witch Boy dropped two, Arius dropped one recently. He's about to drop another one. There's just like we're working on just expanding everything.
That's awesome. So I finally found out, or I finally remembered what the fuck I was gonna ask you prior to me losing my mind.
You good?
Which you mentioned starting production and going into producing and stuff like that. And I wanted to ask, number one, have you produced any beats? Like, do you have any history with producing? Like even like, back in your early days when you were just fucking around with music type shit. And like, where do you see it going and where do you see yourself really expanding on it? Because I feel like it's like a whole other craft outside of like just like vocals, or outside of
Yeah,
just
yeah,
being
yeah.
a rapper.
I have I have made like I have a file on my computer right now with like a bunch of beats because at night I just like we get on call because me and the main goal right now is for this we're making a second collab project, me and Arias,
Okay.
and we want it to be self-produced. That's
Okay.
like the goal. That's the vision right now.
Right.
So we've just been getting it on call like 4 a.m. just on FaceTime, both just making a beat, seeing what happens. I'm not hawking it too hard. I'm not working too hard like to stress about it or anything. We're just like I'm just trying to master the skills and everything. Just because the my idea is like the more I do it, even if I'm not trying too hard, even if I just do like some silly shit to just figure it out, like it's still progress no matter what.
Right.
So I'm just trying to pump out as much as possible. On my archive page, I dropped like 3 beats I made just like here and there. But like all the beats I've been making sound like weird. It, like, cause I don't understand music theory at all. That is way over my head. I just know what sounds good to me.
I feel like a lot of producers would feel you on that one about not knowing shit about
Yeah.
like the
So
actual fundamentals.
yeah, I have no idea. I have no idea. But I just know what I like. I know it sounds good. So all
Right.
my beats recently have been sounding really kind of weird. Like they're all like indie video game type beats. Like it sounds like someone commented on my archive post. They were like, feels like I'm fighting an 8-bit boss battle right now. And I'm like,
That
that
works. I mean, that it incites something in them.
yeah, for sure. So we're getting there. We're getting there slowly but surely. But there is a end goal to that for sure.
So, where do you see yourself when it comes to the end game for Valley Grimm. Not like super end game because like I feel like end game is like so fast. That can mean like death, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But like where do you see yourself in like a very fully evolved version of Valley Grimm as an artist?
Oh, that's an interesting question. I don't I don't know because everything happens so organically with my music. Like it kind of just everything just comes as it comes, you know what I
Right.
mean?
And in life too, you know?
Yeah, but ideally I see myself like just completely like the way I want to make an album is just like create the whole album of beats, like first song, second song, just all the way through beats, and
Right.
then being able to fully record over everything. But I have to be able to evolve my like my vocal music and my beats at the same time. Who's calling me? Oh my good lord.
Ring ring. Yellow? No, yeah, no. That's I mean, I'll let you handle your phone thing because I don't want to like
No, you're
distract
good.
you
You're
or
good. You're
have you
good.
like fuck up and like not hear me and then like hear I think I said something else or some shit. But no, yeah. When it comes to how you see yourself and where you see yourself and the steps you're taking, I feel like you're on the track, you know, to being like a very well developed artist. You know, when you have that. Hold on, I was gonna put some shit on my screen, isn't it? It is. When you have that variety or when you have that skill, like two ends of the fucking thing, you know, like
Yeah.
producing, and I could do vocals, and I could do merch, and I could do whatever the fuck I want to do. You know, makes you like it makes you like valuable, I guess, but it just also makes you independent,
Yeah.
and it's good because you know obviously when it comes to independence and all that stuff, you don't want to deal with a record label, you don't want to deal with a fucking manager. You could deal with like a tour manager maybe if you want to do shows, you
Yeah.
know. But who the fuck wants to deal with someone cutting out your percentage and taking your money, you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's a really good thing. And I've even tried producing myself and I fucking had the hardest time with it. I only made one beat in my life. And at this point, I've talked about it so much on the fucking podcast. I think I'm just gonna upload it onto like my fucking Mikeymcchoppa
Do it.
SoundCloud and just see like, you know, like so like cause I feel like it's like this like legend in my head. It's like the one beat I made and it's absolute dog shit. I say it on like almost every episode. And I think it just needs to see the light of the world at this point.
I'd love to hear it.
Right. So maybe that's something I do later. But no, yeah. So when it comes to Valley Grimm, that's very exciting to see where you evolve into and
Yeah.
see like the steps you're taking now.
Another future goal is shows. Like I really, really, really feel like our music is supposed to be performed in front of people. I
Right.
just feel like it has like the right vibes and everything to just be like performed in front of people. It's just a difficult task when everybody lives all around the world. And it's like I don't want to do just a Valley Grimm show. That's not complete, you know? Like it needs to have at least two, three of the members together in the same space because the energy has to be there.
Right.
So
Man, trust, bro. Listen, I want to do such crazy things, bro. And especially like with shows and shit like that, bro. I any person I've had on my podcast, I'm so willing to book on a show, bro. And I'm not there yet, and I won't speak much on it. But
yeah,
I would love to have the Witch Klique united in New York one day. That shit would be so fire,
that would be beautiful.
and would definitely something we should work on. But yeah, man, shows are I feel like difficult, especially when you have to like book a venue or whatever the fuck you have to do, and all
No,
those
yeah.
different steps that are above my imagination or my knowledge, you know. But then
Yeah.
the fact that you guys are literally all across the world, that's so many extra expenses on like travel and stuff, you know.
Oh my God, yeah. It would just be really cool to be able to get the people from Europe to America, just like, or like go out there, just like it'd be a crazy culture shock and meeting everybody all at once. It'd be crazy.
Right?
It'd be crazy.
And within this last year and stuff too, there's been like I don't know, like within like the scene and like within like a lot of artists I know, a lot of artists I know who started as internet friends have been linking up recently. So like
Yeah.
I feel like that energy is in the air, and I wish it for everyone when it comes to like this music shit because we all have our little online music friends and shit, and I think
Yeah.
it's such a different chemistry and energy in person, and I'm excited to see what that does for the scene musically, like people collaborating
Yeah.
more in person and more, you know, just having that energy and shit like that. So,
It'd be really cool.
but Witch Klique show, I would love to see that in the near
One
future,
day. One day.
right? So, but moving henceforth, I want to ask about Valley Grimm in the sense of something a little more surface, something not as deep. It's about self-presentation. What makes Valley Grimm present himself the way Valley Grimm presents himself? It's like what made
Um,
Valley Grimm be like, yo, I want to dye my hair, or I want to, or anything of the sort, you know? I
I
want
don't
to put
know.
this shirt on today, type shit.
I always kind of just been like a little out there with my fashion sense and everything. Like when I was a little kid, I always just had crazy color hair. Like it, elementary school even, like always, it's just like been a staple in my life, honestly.
Right.
And like I don't know, I really don't know where my fashion influences come from. I kind of it's just like I feel like I'm really unique with it. I kind of just put on what I just buy what I like, put it on. Mostly just thrift store clothes or like I have one friend from New York who just like hand makes like hella clothes. He just like stitches shirts onto pants and like crazy shit. He just like gives me a package of clothes every month. I just wear his clothes, rep him a lot.
That's awesome.
And then like I don't know, I have piercings and tattoos too. Just do what I like, man. That's all.
What kind of ink you got? What ink you got going on?
Right now I got oh, it's gonna be hard to show. I got a moth on my forearm. Wait, the
I see
camera's
it. You gotta
reversed.
bring it. There you go.
There you go. And
Right.
then I got this one on Valentine's Day. It's a cat with
Very
fairy
cute.
wings.
That's awesome.
That was just like a the tattoo artist that I have was doing a flash, and she was just like,
Yeah.
$100, come in whenever you want, come in, get a tattoo. And I saw that cat on her story. I was like,
I did.
fuck it,
I went to a
fuck it.
flash sale recently too, and I got these two. It's a oh you can't see shit. Hold on.
Yeah.
It's a fucking the little My Melody, and then I got like a little
Oh, that's
dagger.
really cute.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. That's cute.
Yeah, man. So I feel you. That's awesome though.
Then I
Recently,
got.
I just got this too.
I'm pretty sure I saw you getting that one on
Yeah.
Instagram. Yeah,
Yeah. So I just
it's a
got
good
that
one.
one. What else you got?
I got like just like the random patchwork leg tattoos, just like the stupidest shit on my legs ever. I got like one of my favorite album covers. Me and Arius have it matching. It's a cat, starry cat. I have two cat tattoos now, I guess. Um, yeah, just like a whole bunch of stupid shit on my legs.
That's awesome.
But there's definitely a tattoo vision in the future to get
Do
more.
you have like a blueprinted like idea of what you want?
Kinda. I just want like a lot of heavy black work.
Got you. I think that would work well with like in contrast to like your tone.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry if you can hear dogs. I have
No,
dogs.
it's fine. Don't worry. I have this smoke alarm that has a dying battery, so it's just been like beep every like however
Okay,
long.
okay.
I was like,
Good.
damn. So don't worry. We're both. I'm the host and I'm here fucked up in the game. So,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
moving forward, I mean, well, I think we can even like start wrapping it up. I don't know what time it is because my clock won't tell me. What time is it?
403.
4:03. All right, yeah, we can start wrapping it up because I think it's been a little about an hour. But
Yeah.
before we wrap it up, I always like to ask because it's your interview, it's your episode, you're in control of this whole shebang. What creeks, crevices, or cracks of Valley Grim did we not cover that you feel like should be covered?
Hmm.
Anything that I missed or glanced over that you feel like is enough to bring to the light.
Trying to think. Hmm. I don't know. I feel like we really touched on everything that I'm trying to touch on. We went over the Witch Klique, aesthetics, inspirations. I don't know. Maybe just my new album. My
Which
new
that dropped.
album.
How long ago did that drop?
I'm talking about my new album that I just started working on. Because
Oh,
I'm trying to take a not an aesthetic level up because it's not gonna be the same as any music I've dropped before. I'm trying to completely drop some shit that everybody's like, oh, okay, I did not expect that. So I'm trying to do I have a really clear vision of just like I want to encapsulate the energy of like metamorphosis in this album, just like moving on to the next phase of my musical career.
right.
So I'm just gonna I have like a very clear vision. Not very clear. It's like it's hard to say because it's like a very clear vision of the energy I want to encapsulate, but I just don't know how it's gonna sound. But I'm going for more of a sped up, sped up, higher pitched type of vibe for this next project.
Is there a little bit of like a hyper pop influence or no?
Or yeah, you could like hyper pop glitchcore influence, but not like I don't like the hyper pop box.
Right.
I don't like to fit in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, more of like a scene influence or like a glitchcore influence.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That I'm excited for. So,
Thank you.
speaking of that, and that since that's like very newly in the works, when would you estimate that that would be like done and published?
So it's only gonna be 5 to 6 songs long because I don't
Okay.
want to. I'm trying to be able to hone in on this very clear vision. And when
Mm-hmm.
I work on something for too long, my brain is all over the place. So I'm trying
Right.
to keep it short and sweet. So I'm have a couple songs done or a couple songs in the works right now.
Right.
Probably my birthday is March 16th. So I think I'm gonna drop the single March 16th and then probably April for the
April.
project.
All right.
That's what I'm
So
shooting for.
that's awesome. So we fucking March 16th single, and from April we get that project. So that's awesome. I mean, by the time this comes out next week, like next Monday,
Yeah,
not this upcoming Monday, the Monday after. So we'll have a little less than a month to wait for that single, and that's awesome.
not too long.
So now that we've gotten that out of the system, now that we got that out in the air, I think we can finally fully wrap this up,
Alrighty.
which goes a little something like this, which is that this was a Cult Personality Podcast. I'm your host, per usual, Mikeymcchoppa, and with me today for the last hour or so was Valley Grimm. Thank you for sitting with me for the last hour and discussing all this cool shit and
Of course.
sharing your whole your time and your aura and your Valley Grimm with us. Um, thank you, viewers and listeners, for the last hour or so. Listening on Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple, and all that stuff, and watching on YouTube. Thank you guys. But yeah, overall, I'm very excited for the future. Again, when it comes to interviewing artists for this last year now, it's hitting like a year mark since I started the podcast. Um, and you guys are. It just seems like everyone's on the incline, and it always fills me with excitement, and it always fills me with joy to know that everyone's doing their own thing and big things are happening, and that we have this like community. So, but yeah, no. But thank you again, and shit. Is there anything you want to say to the people before we sign off?
Not much. Thank you for having me though.
Of course, man. And so yeah, this was the Cult Personality Podcast. Happy Mikey Monday. Shout out Free Thug. And what was I gonna say? Yeah, man, stay cool. Peace, love, and hair grease, everyone. And we'll see you next week. So peace out, love and hair grease. Da da da. Ba da ba 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 ba.